Peoples, what's going on? I am Finesse. This right here is Bella, and this is the 2023 Indian Motorcycle Pursuit Elite. All right, guys, I'm really excited to show you this bike. Robert Simmons was gracious enough to allow me to invade his little studio here to take a look at his bike. I was there when he picked the bike up, and the first time I seen it, I was wowed. Of course, when I saw the pictures, I just knew this bike was going to be something special because they kept giving us little tidbits of images and things about the bike. But like I said, when I first saw it, I immediately liked this bike. I did have an opportunity to get this bike. However, me and Mrs. Finesse wanted to match with our bikes. So, and we saw this one and we saw the Chieftain, but Mrs. Finesse didn't like the Chieftain. So we went ahead and went with the Icon, and I ended up getting this, and so on and so forth. But anyways, we're going to talk about the differences between this bike and the bike that I have currently, which is the premium Dark Horse version of the Elite. So starting up front you get the adaptive headlight on the Pursuit Elite, whereas my bike gets the standard blacked out LED light. I did have that headlight on my Challenger. However, I would still prefer the standard headlight for me. I mean, to be honest with you, I don't know if I could tell the difference between the two. They both threw out good light. All right, so going a little further down, you have the headdress here on the front fender. On the Elite, the headdress is completely blacked out, whereas my headdress has a little bit of chrome touches to it, just to give it that little pop. I do like the all black feature. To me, it just looks really good. It's like that to me that says Dark Horse. All right. Going a little further down, we have different set of wheels. So I have a multi-spoke wheel on mine. On the Elite, has a five-star split spoke wheel. Looks really good. I would imagine it's going to be super easy to clean it, as opposed to trying to stick your hands into those little bitty areas. That does get a bit cumbersome. But at any rate, to be honest with you, I don't know which wheel I like the best. I think they both look good, but I don't know if, man, that's a tough one. I'd say just for now, I would prefer the one that's on my bike versus this one. But like I said, it still looks good. Man, that looks good. All right. Also on these bikes, you'll see here on the logos, my logos are stuck on, whereas the Elite, all the logos on this bike are painted into the paint, covered by the clear coat. So it brings another little unique touch to it. The Elite comes in one configuration, which is with this paint. And I'll have the name of the paint down there on the screen. It comes in this paint scheme, which is a nice paint scheme. It kind of looks similar to the Spirit Blue or the red version. The way they have the paint broken up with those lines. And of course, down below, you've got the fog lights. Each of these bikes have the fog light. This here is closer to a Dark Horse than it is a Limited. Actually, I guess you could say it's kind of a mix of both, because the parts where the Limited are chrome, these are bronze, and the parts where the Dark Horse is black, these are black. So, yeah, that's kind of interesting. So some of this stuff I'm picking up just now, guys, because I have not really had a lot of time to look at this bike. I've seen it on occasion. So if it looks like I'm noticing things as it shows up, then you're probably right. So moving on further back in the fairing, you still have the same setup that you're going to be looking at as a rider. However, for the Elite, you get black levers on your controls. On the Elite, you get black levers on your control. You know what else you get black levers on controls? On the Dark Horse Chieftain. The Dark Horse Chieftain gets black levers on the controls. Not the, the Elite as well as the Icon. You know, all of those bikes throughout that Chieftain line get these black handles, or the black controls. However, the Pursuits, you still get the chrome controls. So everybody knows that I don't like that. I really, really wish that the Dark Horses came with this. That would just, oh my goodness. Anyways, maybe I'll send mine off to powder coat or something. I don't know. But moving forward. So for the controls are backlit. So at night you'll have a little light back there showing all your controls. And it looks really good. It looks, it looks elite. All right. Looking at the tanks. So again, like I said, the tanks are all of this stuff is going to be similar. So on the tank console here, it's more of that bronze chrome touch along with the two-tone paint scheme, and it just looks really good. So the top of the fuel tank is mostly black. It has a lot of this black treatment on it with a little bit of flake in there. And then you also have your Indian Motorcycle logo there on the side painted in under the clear coat, as long with a bronze stripe, I guess you want to call it, a bronze stripe to break up the two. And then below that, you've got more of this flake on the tank. So it gives you a little bit of separation, gives you a little bit of color. Moving down, this will be kind of similar to what you would see on a Jack Daniels bike. My heads are painted black. However, the Elite heads are bronze, and they're not shiny bronze. It's like a matte finish on it. Looks really good. It just adds to that Elite flavor to it. All right, so on either side of the bike, on your clutch side as well as your throttle side, or your clutch and your brake side, I guess you want to say, the covers down low, normally they would be either black or chrome. So on this, they treated those with that bronze material, that bronze color, which looks just beautiful. It's shiny, and when you're going down the road and the sun hits it, beautiful bike. All right, trying to contain myself. Going down lower, the floorboards, you have long floorboards. They're about the same size as the floorboards that come on the rest of the Pursuit and Challenger lineup. However, these are the upgraded with the Indian Motorcycle logo and a little design going down the middle. And not only that, you also get those for the passenger as well. And those are, I want to say those are a little bit longer than what I have. And then on the back side of that foot, like if you don't have anybody on the back and you haven't flipped up, you have a nice etched Indian Motorcycle logo in there as well. On the side covers, you get more of that two-tone treatment along with the bronze accents. And of course, you get your heated seat, which features the bronze stitching, which looks really good, really good. And then you get the Indian Motorcycle logo. Instead of it being just stamped into the seat, it's stitched into the seat, as well as on the seat of the Tour Pack. And of course, you have your controls here on the side. Moving further back at the saddlebags, you can see here these saddlebags do have the speakers. They do come stock, and you also get the speakers in the Tour Pack as well. So the only other speakers that you do not get with this are the ones in the lowers here, which of course you can add. But I would have liked to have seen those come in it straight out of the factory for the Elite. I want to say that I saw some pictures that had the speakers there, but maybe there were some last minute changes that needed to be made, and they decided to not go with that, or it just could have been a random photo. Who knows? But like I said, I would have liked to see those speakers come with it. On the hinges themselves, they are blacked out. They also have a bit of that two-tone flake in it. There's an area in there where it's like a matte finish to it with a little bit of a texture. So and the way that those look Like it's just enough. It looks really good. And of course, you get the two-tone on the saddlebags as well. So the top, you're going to have that the darker with the light flake to it, and then as you go down, it's going to have that bronze accent with Elite painted in, and then you're going to have more of that flake from the two-tone. Moving around the backside, it does come from the factory with saddlebag lights. However, they are just running lights. These lights are not turn signal or brake lights. So, you know, I mean, either you like it or you don't. Looking at the tour pack as we're coming around the back of the bike, you do have a black rack on the top of the tour pack. You get more of the Dark Horse treatment there with that blacked out badge underneath the light, as well as the bumper here on the rear of the tour pack. That's also black as well. Other than that, everything else is pretty standard between the two models. So there, while there are not a lot of major differences between the two bikes, this paint job is really amazing. I really like the paint job. I like the bronze accents that are on the bike. I think it makes it stand out. And getting the saddlebag speakers, you might say, oh, you know, that's like a little thing, but try and get saddlebag speakers for your Challenger or Pursuit right now. All right. Depending on your color, it might be back ordered for a while. So for that to already come with it on there, I mean, that's great. And getting a bike in this configuration and then buying, let's say we bought a standard Pursuit, and then we're going to try and upgrade it to either this version or the version of the Elite. And I guarantee you it's going to cost you more money upgrading it from the basement than it would be just going to the penthouse apartment. So just something to keep in mind. I'm going to have the price of this vehicle as well as the price of my vehicle here on the screen so that you guys can compare and contrast the two. But yeah, overall, really beautiful bike. I like what they've done to it. Every time I see Robert on it, I just stare it down like, you know, like I got bad intentions. But anyways, so definitely let Robert know in the comments down here that this is the most beautiful bike he owns, and he should verbalize that to everybody else as well. And I really want to thank him for allowing me to come in his garage and check out his bike. And with that, we're going to end it right here. So, hey man, ride every day. And most importantly, make sure you enjoy it. Peace.